Greetings, Sandra, greetings. Hey, happy birthday to you for the 15th of October, coming up soon, where you'll be turning 49 this year. And yes, what a strange and wackadoodle year it has been. It's really interesting when I look back at the beginning of 2020 when we were on holiday here in New Zealand because it's our summer, ominously in New Zealand with the strange clouds of burnt haze, smoke haze that drifted across from Australia, and that smoke haze continued to traverse the whole world as it turns out. And then where we were staying, we had these really weird winds in New Zealand, the strangest, strongest winds I've ever experienced. And I said to my husband at the time, I said, this is like the Santa Ana winds in LA. And that to me was ominously odd, the two scenarios that started 2020. And then of course we started to hear about the COVID, more and more globally. And I've been pondering what 2021 would look like. And oddly enough, we're seeing these weird fires everywhere and smoke haze perturbating around the globe, and we're also getting some strange winds again. So I'm still thinking 2021 is going to lead us into very similar energies as this year. Now, interestingly, in your letter, you said that you have felt there were some amazing breakthroughs in this year, especially in the quiet time or lockdown time, where you engaged more with your daughter and you spent time at the beach with your dog and your neighbour and just felt grounded and almost like a feeling of exaltation or, this grandness of connection to nature. And I am convinced that for so many people it's given them the opportunity to experience that. So it was almost like a tipping point or a change in direction for humanity itself this year of 2020. And I think that it's been a time that we are meant to go introspective and become more quiet and go within and seek to expand within our own energy fields and our own being and our own light, if you like. And a lot of people have made dramatic changes this year as well. Of course, some were forced upon it due to the COVID issues and, financial constraints or restraints that were put in place. So some people had a really bad financial time and lost businesses or lost jobs, and other people were put at home with family members that they decided they didn't actually get on with. So in fact, 2020 has been a year where we've seen probably more marriage breakups than one would have expected normally, and maybe more couples go for counselling to try and resolve issues as well. So we've seen a whole population of people on the planet, and of course it is still going on as it slowly moves into India and South America and is coming back up into the northern hemisphere for that winter again. But we're seeing all these people changing paradigms and realities. And for a lot of people, this is an unusual shift, and it is creating a flux in the timeline for humanity. So where it all leads and where it all heads is yet unknown, because we are the changing face of it all. We will change the dynamic energy as we move through it. And of course, that comes to mind your question. You sort of said, what's in store for the next 3 to 6 months, and you've been feeling like this amazing shift as the year has moved on, but more than ever you were feeling it was time for a love relationship to come into your life, a personal, intimate, private relationship. So what I did was I just tuned into you again for 20 minutes or so, and I did some work I had a quick look at your last reading, and I noticed you had quite a few really positive tarot major arcana cards come out. You had the Emperor, the Sun, the Magician, the Star. And I also remember last year you were interested in a chap from the police, and he had children. But I take it that didn't go anywhere much. And as you say, you've met one man this year, but again, that didn't come to much. We will start by looking at what is in store for the next 3 to 6 months, and you will see these 3 cards in front of you that I have here. So what I'm going to do is pull the camera down to them a little bit, and we'll focus on these, and I'm going to actually read the meanings out for you. These are light language cards by Denise Jarvie, and they're very, very full of powerful transmissional energies, and you can sort of see it when you look at the cards. You'll get this feeling emanating from them. Now the other thing is I'm playing in the background a mantra. It's Deva Premal Mula mantra. Now there's a lot of different mantras you can find on YouTube, and most of all of them are very beautiful, but it's come to mind lately myself that mantras are very, very powerful, and they just replay over and over, and they ignite a part of us at our higher self that is either wanting to have attention or wanting to realign to something or wanting to give us alignment some way or awakening. So the cards came out for you in this order: Divine Masculine, then Awakening, then the meditation. So I'm thinking to myself, without reading from the book, that the meditation is very important to go towards the awakening, and the Divine Masculine is part of the whole circuitry that is within it. Now, initially when I saw the Divine Masculine, I personally thought, wow, this is great. This is referring to, a potential male influence coming in, like a partner. But I will read to you from the book what the Divine Masculine means, and I think it is also associated with an awakening for yourself within and the practice of meditation, and as for instance, as I say, these mantras, which can be very, very powerful. And I think that these could help establish a freer energy path or a connection to a higher understanding or awakening that could be really profound for you. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to bring in a male partner, but it will help to connect you to a quest that I think you've had underlying for some time, and you've been growing every year, growing exponentially more spiritual and more aware anyhow. And of course next year you will have the new decade upon you too, turning into the 50s. So a lot, I think, is potentially happening, and it may not be that it's just in the next 3 to 6 months, but that it's a deep evolutionary process that you're experiencing and taking you to greater highs. And I think you will feel more of this elation and ecstasy that you felt when you were in this quiet phase of life, with your spending time with your daughter and at the beach with your neighbour and the dogs and being at one with nature. So I will now read to you what the cards are saying, and this is just something for you to focus on and feel into and ponder for the next, for however long it's valid for you, to be honest. So I will just take them out a little bit, and I will turn down the mantra and I will read to you. So the first card, Divine Masculine. Everything has its purpose. You will not always understand what the purpose of something is. However, it is someone's creation, and that is to be respected. If you don't like it, let it be the inspiration to create something more aligned with your soul's purpose. Consider all areas of your life and reevaluate any part that may not be working. You can be your own father by respecting your ideas and providing a way for them to manifest. You are a master of your own making, so now is the time to recognize your inner strength and motivation, and to be a leader of your thoughts and emotions instead of a follower. Stand your ground, regain your self-respect, pick yourself up and dust yourself off. This is not a time to force against or try to control external forces. This is a time for disciplining the way you focus and what you think about, so you can create your dreams. Now you can do a meditation with this card, with the Divine Masculine energy, and it says light a candle, place the card or a picture of it, at your solar plexus around your belly button. Gently close your eyes and focus on your breath. The act of closing your eyes will move you to your inner world, allowing you to let go of the distractions of the outer world. Breathe deeply and slowly until every part of you is relaxed. Use your imagination to take yourself to a place in nature. The air is clear, pure, and invigorating. Now see yourself sitting high upon a mountain. From this excellent viewpoint, you can see the entire world with clarity. Survey your domain. Feel immense empowerment swelling up within you. This is your creative energy. You are the ruler of your kingdom. Begin to create a scene in your kingdom that includes your dreams and desires. See your dreams and desires interacting with the environment, yourself, and others. Be the champion of your dreams. Hold them in your heart and feel them as if they are here right now. Stay in this feeling for at least 2 minutes. Gently bring your awareness back to your breathing. Breathe empowerment into your life and open your eyes. Blow your candle out, for it is now relit as your inner fire. You can also, at sunrise, give thanks to the sun for illuminating all the creations of your life and be open to receiving inspired reflections. And it also says, draw or write about 3 ways the men in your life inspire your connection to your inner divine masculine. So this is about bringing the yin and yang, the feminine and the masculine, into harmony within your body sphere and within your psyche. Now, this may be a reason why your romances with the masculine side of life don't seem to flourish or bloom. It could be because your inner masculine energy isn't strong enough, or isn't balanced, or isn't being created or nurtured enough. So this is why I'm thinking this could be a really good mantras or meditation, or in particular that they just gave us, the words could be really useful for you. So the next one was awakening, which is number 2. So the first one was 32, which adds up to a 5. Then awakening, which is 2. Let me read it for you. You are about to experience an aha moment. This will come as a feeling of deep truth that seemed to have slipped your mind. You have often thought there must be another way to experience and live this life, and you are about to discover it. You are opening your heart and mind to the full, authentic you. Time-honoured ways that have worked in the past are no longer bringing the results you desire and may have become obstacles to your dreams. Beliefs become intermingled with everyday processes and who we think we are. No wonder it can seem hard to let them go. When you rouse from the slumber of conformity, you awaken into the same world, but through the eyes of soul love. You can see beyond fear to the creative possibilities that are everywhere. Relax and enjoy this time. It is your natural evolution. And you can also try this meditation. It says place a hand on the card, but you can, if you like, when you whatever device you are looking at this, and we have this card in focus now, you could utilize this and do the following meditation. So I'll read it out. Place a hand on the card. This action energetically connects you with the vibrations of your soul. Slow your breathing and say to yourself, I am open to and trust my soul guidance. Allow yourself to feel calm and empowered. Feel into your heart for the key from the soul name meditation and take yourself to the doorway of your sacred soul space. Unlock the door. Notice your soul name on the door. Has it changed? Float into your sacred space as intense, loving light envelops you and introduces itself as your soul. Allow your soul to move through your body and mind so you can accept and trust its messages without resistance. Let every part of you open to your soul and relax in its presence. You have just come home to the absolute fullness and beauty of you. A smile erupts within you and your whole being beams. Everything feels amazing and perfect. Come to this place as often as you can. Meditate daily and be with your soul. Stay here for at least 30 seconds, and when you feel ready, breathe deeply in and out. Come back to your physical awareness and see the world through newly awakened eyes. So that, it does talk about meditating and being with your soul and opening up to yourself and finding the next messages that are coming for you and the rest of the awakening. And of course, that is the card that is right next to it, is this beautiful meditation card. So I think you'll find that there is great power within these 3 cards that I started your reading with, and I think you can find some real inspiration and divinity and exploration and expansion within these cards that have arrived. So Divine Masculine, Awakening, and then the third one, which would go on top of the whole 3, which ties them together, is the meditation. And I see the beautiful heart at the top of the meditation card. So we're meditating into the heart awareness and into the chakra of love, energy, and soul love, and self-love, and cosmic love. And that expands out to group love and other love. Love of the planet, of life, of nurture, of giving, of receiving, of awareness, of awakening at all levels too. So again, I think this is really quite profound to be doing this reading now, because it is your birthday coming up as well, and that is also a really powerful time to undertake a reading. I think they have a great deal of depth within them. So just as something special, let's see what angels of Atlantis are coming in. And there you have Sandalphon, which is evolution, and this is your soul's evolution on the journey. And as I said, you just seem to be evolving all the time. So you have this evolution and this awakening process that is being delivered to you. Again, expect change, and expect these. What I feel when I read your letter are these feelings of bliss and euphoria and expansion. They are truly magical experiences, because not everyone receives them. We might think they do, but not everyone experiences these feelings. So call upon Sandalphon. He is the angel of the earth, and he obviously is, in this instance, the angel of evolution as well. So call upon him. Oh wow, how beautiful. Jophiel with joy. This allows you to experience more and more joy in your life. And I am seeing these incredibly golden colours that are around for you through these cards. Just more and more and more gold. And you enjoyed your time at the beach so much. And what is that? That's the beach. And that is where you felt that euphoric joy. So bring that into your daily gratitude and thanks and awakening and meditation and exploration. And I think you will feel this even deeper joy emanating around your life and around your experiences. So I know that you really want to look too at what is happening for the next 3 to 6 months. So we can pull some of our traditional tarot for this. So this is for Sandra, or Sandra, I'm sorry, I always say it slightly differently than everyone else. What is around for the next 3 to 6 months? The Ace of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the World, and the Eight of Wands. These 3 here really represent the potentiality for new beginnings, new relationships, new people. You know, the Knight of Cups is often known as the bringer or the harbinger of love or emotions or relationships. And the World card can also be about that, and it can be that you meet people from different races even, who speak different languages. And they can be Aquarian, Scorpion, Leo or Taurus. And this here is a degree of kind of sexual freedom. So there's a feeling of sexuality within this card and exploring sexual pleasures or connectedness with other people. Now, sometimes this card represents friendships, but even if they're just a friend, they become amazing potential friends for a very long time. So it may be that you meet new people in your life who give you this feeling of awakening and expansion and joy. It doesn't have to necessarily be just a romantic partner, but these cards do bode well for that. This number 8 is often about quick and swift activity, and it can often be associated with romantic liaisons. So the potential for meeting a new person. Now, sometimes this can be from air travel. Now, since not many of us are doing air travel, it could be that this person you meet may come to visit you, or you may visit them for one reason or another, or that they could live a little distance away. But oftentimes this is just referring to quick activity. We've talked about the Knight of Cups. These knights are the beginning essence of their energy field, and of course they're the water sign energy bearers as well. So sometimes this could be a water person coming into your life, the Scorpio, the Cancer, the Piscean. And the knights generally are offering something about compassionate energies of love from the heart, about connection, about new beginnings. The Ace of Swords is very much about awakening and spiritual revelation and understanding and using the mind. You know, it is an air sign card, and you're the air sign energy, being the Libran. There's a potentiality again here for new success arising out of something, or being formed at this point in time through a duration of processes that are brought together. Sometimes this can be when a person or people have been working on something in the background, and then there is success. And quite often through the art of communication, whether it is writing or emails or verbal communication or litigation or legal activities. So it could be that you might meet someone who has been through a process of some sort where signing documents have been done, and this could be the dissolution of a marriage, for instance, or a divorce that's coming up. It could also represent something for you about successful negotiations or events taking place that have a requirement for some sort of thought process or thinking or follow through logically or documentation. So sometimes this is visiting a lawyer or an accountant, or being offered a contract to sign for something. So, and I didn't necessarily say a time when these were all happening, because we're just looking around the 3 to 6 month time span. And there's another sword card, and he again is very much about communication and writings or contracts, new offers coming in. I'm not sure if it's jobs. I don't know if you said anything about looking for work or a change of jobs. It could be hinting at a relationship with someone. But again, we're back in the air sign realm, which of course is yourself again. Let's see what else is here for Sandra for the next 3 to 6 months. So people are around you, because you've already got the two Knight and Page cards in, which are court cards, which represent people. To me, it could mean they're slightly younger, so perhaps you meet someone who is slightly younger than yourself. That might be a possibility. Two of Pentacles, comings and going, bringing balance into situations, sometimes feeling as though money may be a bit fluid. Sometimes it's around, sometimes there's less of it. I also do see this as a card that can turn up when there are job interviews at hand. People thinking about applying for a new job or attending an interview, and sometimes this is about moving to a different area, and I know that's not what you want to do because you moved to be closer to your daughter and you're now living with her. It can represent sea travel or movement or being around the sea as well, and sometimes partnerships. The Tower and the Page of Cups. So the Page is the younger brother's knight. So we've got this feeling of love or offers of love or harmony or compassion or something coming in. We did get a Tower moment coming, and that can represent change. Let's see what this Tower is, and we'll see. Now the Tower could be called a card of awakening, you know, becoming more aware, more spiritually awake, and realizing that things in the past don't suit you so much anymore, that your life is changing and changing in a way that it will never go back to the same. Give us some expansion on this Tower card for Sandra. Six of Pentacles is about giving and taking. It's the card of receiving. It's a good card in terms of life cycles, karmic sometimes. Sometimes you can be the one receiving, sometimes you can be the one giving. It can mean about bequeathments that have been left, money that has been left for you as a gift for something. The Emperor, he can be about legal documents or contracts or obligations. He can be a potential employer or an accountant or a lawyer. He can also be someone who is coming in as a potential partner. Oftentimes he is older, and of course he is often an Aries type person or in that March-April zone, so it could be Piscean, and he could refer to that time of year, which is a little bit, probably does actually encompass up to the 6 months. So this Tower thing could be associated with something around finances or legal contracts or obligations. I'm not sure what you're thinking about your job, if you're thinking of leaving a job or changing out or doing something totally different. One more clarification here on the Tower. That's old love. I wonder if it's someone who you used to know, who could be coming back on the scene. Maybe they need help or they help you one way or another, or it might be going back to childhood things. It could be going back in time to family business. It may hark back to events or attending events or visiting someone from the past, and I'm thinking of a family member who either wants help or support or needs it. It could also even represent your children, although not usually. Now sometimes this card does represent past lovers coming back, so maybe there's something in here about karmic things being tied up and, you know, completed as such. Let's put these ones away and ask a little bit more about, because I think love is on your mind. Let's have a look. I quite like these cards for the love relationships. So this is for Sandra. We are looking at what is happening in love relationships for the next daughter romance. There is something, oh my goodness, the storm warning. Okay, so that really is the same as the Tower. The storm warning can be like severe storms. You might be in an area where there is a storm of some sort. It could be weather related, so it might mean hunkering down. So make sure you've got a preparedness kit ready. But the door of romance popped out, and then there have been these two. So there's something about maybe relationships that have a complete and utter change. It could be that a person you meet is going through this, which we talked about a bit earlier when that Ace of Swords popped up, you know, saying it could be someone who's going through divorce proceedings and finally becoming free. It could be an epiphany moment, like this incredible awakening, because the Tower is being struck by bolts of lightning, which is like being awoken by light, as if to say, I need to change something in my life to get what I want or to receive what I am looking for. And you may experience it through this awakening evolution that you might be going through, and it could change a whole lot of things about how you view life. Let's see what else is in here. We're looking at romance and love. It is definitely open for you. I mean, to be honest, I never feel you have a problem with finding potential romantic partners. You certainly, Now, okay, watch out. Just be careful who you open the door to. Double check them, scrutinize them. Don't give people your information about your personal finances, bank accounts. Especially be very wary of online relationships and fraudulent possibilities. Just watch. And I don't just mean for romance either. This could be for anything. Maybe it matches with this storm warning. So maybe there is someone who's a bit yucky that you have to watch out for. So just trust your gut instinct and be tuned into whether you believe them to be true, honest and open people or someone who is not. Yeah, I think we've got 3 cards at the moment that are actually warning me a little bit about perhaps people around who might not be as wholesome as you think. So be careful. The journey is pretty similar again to awakening. This is about a spiritual evolution. It's growth. It's the beginning of the journey. It's the beginning of the awakening. It's heading in a different direction. I mean, technically, as I said, these are all similar if you view them in the fact that they change the course of your life. They change the direction. You know, some people just view this as a bit more negative, but going on a new journey is exactly what you do when you make these changes after this. The Tower can sometimes have a little bit of turbulence around it. So, you know, a bit of argumentative energy or feeling as though you've been rocked by something or someone. Whereas that card doesn't seem to have that feeling. It's more about, oh, I'm just changing my life out. Okay, just one more around the relationships. You know, I think that focusing on yourself and allowing yourself to grow and expand and encouraging the all-encompassing energy of love and bringing balance into the divine masculine and feminine of yourself will encourage healthy growth around relationships. Oh, look, that is so beautiful. And that is what you want. You know, romance and love are similar, but they're actually quite a long way away. Romance is chemistry, it's sexual excitement, it's the anticipation of this wanderlust, if you like. Love is a deeper, more committed, generous, compassionate, warm, slow burn of feeling a deep trust in a person. But you've got the cards there, and I never, as I said, I never feel that there isn't love for you, or romance, most definitely. But again, bring all the other aspects of you into life, into this wonderful exploration that you're experiencing, and these will follow naturally. So let's have a look at what else we could look at. I was going to do the I Ching for you, which is a little bit different, quite intense actually. Now there are a couple of ways that we can do this, but technically, and I like the bottom card that was on the bottom, was joy, and that's a heart. And we've had the, wow, how nice is that? 2 lots of joy. Okay, so this is for Sandra. This is just general aspect around the next 3 to 6 months for Sandra, from October 2020 to March, April 2021. Okay, that's definitely our first one. Limits and connections. That's very interesting because that came out recently in a reading I'd done. Keeping still. Okay, so this is the here and now, limits and connections, which I will read that, but this is where we're headed for the future. And to find out where that will be, we are trying to decipher the difference between the hexagrams, and we read the different hexagrams. And the first one is the bottom one, so the first one is different, the second one is different, the third one is different, the fourth one is the same, the fifth one is different, and the sixth one is different. So let me just check on that again. Yes, so the only one we don't read is 4. So to have to read 5 of the 6, I find is quite a powerful message. It must be wanting to say something. Now, the I Ching require a fair bit of contemplation and thinking about. It's a very old divination tool, and some of the messages are still written in a little bit of an unusual way. The first card was 60 and the second one is 52. So it's water above, lake below, and mountain above, mountain below. So what we will read first is your limits and connections, which is kind of what is going on now. So let's read 60. Limits are necessary to channel energy, guide purpose, and lend direction to life. Constantly swimming in a sea of boundless opportunities leads to exhaustion. Winging it alone, wild and free, in a sky of unlimited directions and opportunities only leads to becoming lost. In human affairs, the making of decisions and alliances necessarily implies limitation, for in choosing one path, another must be left behind. A key to a successful life is to select your limits consciously and carefully, to be discriminating in the setting of personal boundaries, but also know when to fly in formation. Just as thrift often precedes prosperity, letting go of selfish interests leads to greater personal reward. Only by consciously accepting useful limits can your energy be channeled to good purpose and lead to lasting accomplishment. Aim for a middle way between discipline and freedom of spirit. Limits will come of their own accord, but to consciously make good decisions and select compatible affiliations, now that's knowing how to fly. However, do not go overboard on discipline. Even limitation must be limited in the effort to bring order and direction into your life, to avoid choking off vital sources of enthusiasm and spontaneity. In groups and organisations, rules and regulations should strike a balance between being too strict and being too lenient. If these guidelines are too difficult to live with, frustration will build and ultimately become destructive. If the rules are too soft, sloppiness will become acceptable and energy will dissipate. The best path is one that allows for the unfolding of individual potential while encouraging self-discipline and focus along the way. So as I said, there's a lot to try and comprehend with these messages when they come in. And what I've heard most people do is that they listen to that quite a few times and then they go within and meditate to see what the words are trying to tell them at the deepest level possible. So these I Ching seem to take quite a long time to deeply connect with and to find the message that they're telling you. So let's see what the keeping still is, 52. And remember, we're reading the hexagrams, and the only one we don't read is line 4. Line 1. At the beginning of a major undertaking, reserve energy by pausing for rest and reflection at the start. Taking a moment to chart your course before setting off on adventure supports good timing and brings good fortune. This is the point in your undertaking when few mistakes have been made and innocence is untainted by ulterior motives. Persevere in staying balanced and you will be able to establish a firm, lasting foundation. The next one is, if you find yourself being led by someone going down a misguided path, leave them to their fate, or you may well become lost along with them. When the road leads nowhere, slow down to a standstill. In a case like this, stopping to sit by the side of the road brings good fortune. Then number 3, trying to induce rest through forced rigidity is like expecting a computer to write poetry. An essential contradiction makes such efforts useless. When you are bone tired, a good sleep is more rejuvenating than a strict form of medication. So I think that one's a bit convoluted. I think it's just saying take the time to stop and think things through, and if there are situations that pop up in the next 3 to 6 months, and keeping still rather than making a lot of intense decisions around something will pay better dividends for you. Right, line 5. Light-hearted or foolish chatter about problems can make things worse. If you lack inner calm, your words will reflect fears, doubts, desires, impatience, and other restless forces, and this can cause harm in subtle ways. For example, if you constantly babble about travel difficulties while on vacation, you may put others off and thereby miss the good times and new companionship you were seeking in the first place. In addition, you may inadvertently say things that allow others to take advantage of you, particularly when you find yourself dependent on others for essential needs. If you pause to govern your speech, when you do speak, your words will carry greater power without remorse. So the power of the word will be very important for you, and how you choose your words and what words you use. So especially if you're thinking about meeting a potential love partner or a new job or your money or your finances or anything, choose the right phrases and terminologies and words and focus them into positive paraphrases or a positive way of saying things, because you don't want to attract the negative. And the last one, this line points to the ability to maintain stillness and composure in the midst of a chaotic world, which is a noble achievement. When positive acceptance of all of life has been achieved, what harm can follow? Peace and good fortune will await you. And I'm really pleased to hear that final line and to see it, because part of your whole point in your email was that you are finding the stress of going back to life and hearing about the politics, the war, famine, fires, racism is negating your energy flows. And that's what this one just said. So this one is really important. This line points to the ability to maintain stillness and composure in the midst of a chaotic world, which is a noble achievement. When positive acceptance of all life has been achieved, what harm can follow? Peace and good fortune will await you. And how to deal with that is meditation in the presence of chaos and the presence of disharmony. We go within and we meditate, and we don't allow that negativity to off balance us, and we accept it as part of an evolution, and we bring in joy and we look at those as being more important than the background energies that are circulating around the planet. So don't let them destabilize all that wonder that you earlier found in the beginning part of the year. Go back and refocus on that through meditation and allow your awakening to continue and balance your whole being. And you will find that it naturally provides you with growth and stimulus and evolution and love and romance and happiness and success. So the messages that came through that I Ching, they are worthy and they may take a while to grasp, but I think they're a wonderful message for right now, because I do believe next year is not going to necessarily be much better. We are still in chaotic times, and so finding peace within and without is really important, and as you do that, you will balance the energies that come into your life. I hope that that is satisfactory for you and that you have gleaned enough information from the various different cards we have read and done. I could just call on this one here for one more little subtle message for the end of the reading. I will just pull that out a little bit. So this is for Sandra. What else would you like to finish her reading off with to allow her to understand what's coming and what's around for the next 3 to 6 months? And just remember, this is only one possible perspective of a reading. Readings are a timeline, but there are many different timelines. Higher education, your guardian angel is talking about, and that is the awakening and the evolution. Healthful eating, Saint Raphael, the archangel, and healing, Saint Padre Pio. Now, healing can be the healing and the balancing of any divine masculine energy fields that may have been distorted through this timeline or previous timelines. Now, remember too that we're experiencing very big karmic energy fields this year in 2020, and so this could be timelines that are going back in your soul chart and allowing healing from imbalances at those times as well. And I'm just seeing on the screen on my computer this beautiful Buddha holding up a lotus petal or lotus flower in deep meditation, and it just keeps coming back to me, this, I believe you will grow, blossom and flourish through the art and the act of some form of meditation, which is going to bring in heart awakening, activation and healing for you. With all of these beautiful energies and messages that have come to you through some very high vibrational beings and energy portals, I trust that you really allow the flow of this reading to take form and flourish. So I wish you the very, very best, Sandra, and there is plenty of wonderful opportunity around you. You continue to grow, bloom and evolve. Much love. Namaste.